Welcome to the Party with Lance podcast. Starting the party in 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Hello, yes. Welcome to episode 18 of the Party with Lance podcast. Or if you are joining us on video, and by us I mean me, I'm the only person here. This would be episode 1 of the video portion of the Party with Lance podcast. We're here. Real quick, if you're on video, just to show you what's up, I got a corner of the apartment. This is where we're at in the world now, and we're doing it. So, you also, if you're even listening, I don't know if you can hear a difference. I have a new microphone setup. I got the good microphone that people use for the video podcast and podcast world and some radio stuff. It's a good one. So maybe it sounds better. Who knows? Maybe it sounds worse because the tech person on this show is me. Which I'm also nervous. I'm very nervous about this podcast, as I am a lot of them, but this one seems extra nervous because I haven't done this in a little while. Oh, did I even hit record? Yes, I think I did. Recording. Okay, looks like everything's recording. There's a lot going on. There's, it really makes you appreciate when you see like a show like this on YouTube or the internet or something. You're like, it's just someone sitting in front of their thing. But there's actually, I don't know if this lighting is going to be good. I don't know if I'm hoping the sound is good, right? I think it's going to be. I'm hoping. And then I got to sync them up somehow. I got to put the intro song at the beginning, and then I got to somehow link them up so that it all works and that it is, I guess, looks similar between the YouTube version and the audio version. So no idea how that's all going to work. And the lighting, I don't know if this looks good or not. Might be dull, might be. I'm not a lighting person, not a camera person, not an audio person either. I know a little bit about some of those things. But this is what we're getting. Maybe it will improve over time. My little set here, I got a sign. We'll see if it comes together. If you're watching this, it came together. If you're listening to it, I got more confidence in the audio version, right? Because I'm used to doing audio. Less confident in the video version, but we'll see how this all comes together. But I do want to just say first off that it really makes you appreciate when you watch a YouTube video and it looks like someone just sitting at their computer or sitting, in their bedroom or something. It's like, when it actually looks good, the amount of stuff, they got to have lights, and they got to have, anybody that does this knows that. But, sometimes even I forget. I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got on that. Topics, haven't done the podcast in a while, took a couple months off. Do you really got to explain yourself? I don't know. I took a couple months off for, I think I have to pause this. I have to go do something over there. I got to pause this. Hold on. I'll be back, though. Okay, I think we're back. That looks to be good. I had to go. There was something off in the distance I was looking at on the other side of the room that was bothering me, and I couldn't focus. Do I have ADD? Could be, But who does it these days, right? Don't we all have a little bit of ADD with the world, the internet, news? What was I talking about? I'm talking about, I haven't done this in a little while, and I'm not in the flow of doing it. It's like when you're doing it every week, or if people are doing it more so, I'm sure daily. Like everything, you get more comfortable, you get more in your groove, and I'm out of the groove. This is a guy out of the groove in podcasting and video podcasting. But this is, we'll see if we can get it going here. So this is this. We got some topics here. First off, the world is crazy. We know that. There's so much going on. Every day I get up and I read the news, which maybe I shouldn't. People will tell you different things, right? Like, don't read the news, only read so much news. But it's like every hour, by the time this even comes out, whatever I talk about here, I'm recording this September 17th. Thursday, September 17th. Maybe I'll get it out tonight if I can put it all together. Maybe it'll come out tomorrow, Friday. I got some stuff to do tomorrow, too. Maybe it'll come out Saturday. So, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. The news is, there's so much going on. I don't know if I want to start positively or negatively. I guess we'll just start with some of the stuff. I'll just say this. I don't understand how anybody is voting for Trump. Aggressive statement off the top, but I don't get it. I don't understand. There are fires going on everywhere in the country. The virus has been no plan anywhere. Black people get shot walking down the street and sleeping. There's kids in the cages at the border. And I'm just naming a few of the issues. There's no health care. Healthcare has been dismantled a lot. And, climate change, we pulled out a lot of that stuff. And also people are unemployed. The economy's terrible. And also the government has given no relief to anybody. Everybody got, what, a $1,200 stimulus check months ago? Everything could not be worse. So I don't understand why you would keep Trump in there. I'm even scared to say this in my apartment. Maybe someone can hear this, and you don't know who you live with, especially in New York. I don't even know who's in this building anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in a building. It's New York. People might have left. People might have... I don't know. Maybe I don't need to be so loud with this microphone. Maybe I can just talk like a normal human. This feels like a funny sketch. It's like watching a guy trying to do a video podcast. Maybe that's what I'll title this. Trying to do a video podcast. Also, I haven't eaten much, and I've had a lot of coffee. So I feel very, very jacked up on this thing. Maybe I'll take these off. I don't love these headphones I'm wearing. Yeah, I kind of like this. I kind of like this better without the headphones. Hello? Okay. This is much harder than I thought it was going to be. I got to be honest with you. Why is this so hard? It used to be easy. I would just get on and then do my topics. I think the video portion is really messing me up. It's throwing a whole other element into it. And what's hard is I'm in charge of it, right? Like, I'll be the one editing it and putting it together. It's not like I'm in a studio where they just like, well, there's the video and it's out. Now I have say over it, so it's extra hard, Things you can do to keep yourself somewhat sane. Be creative, like I'm making this thing. Even if it's not perfect, it's something, and it might take my mind. I'm not reading the news right now, so that's a plus. You find a creative outlet, whatever it is: reading, writing, walking, drawing, painting, musical instruments, podcasts, video stuff, whatever. That's one. Call a friend. I'll go through moments where I almost become like a recluse where I don't talk to anybody, and I owe a million people emails, messages, texts, Facebook messages, whatever. There's a million platforms. I owe everybody everything, and I don't do that. But then every now and then I'll get in a kick where I call a couple people, or I email a couple people, or text a couple people. Mainly call, just because I like that it's easier, and it's good. And you feel when you connect with people like that, you feel like you're in the same boat. So that's good. Okay, we're settling into the podcast. It took me, 11 minutes? I'm settling in. It feels like I'm calming down. Life is funny like that. You do something, and it can be really nerve-wracking at first. It reminds me a lot about doing stand-up. When you first start stand-up, you're an awful comedian. You're nervous. Every show you think is your big break. It's going to be the one that takes you to the next whatever. Then you do 100 shows, and you're like, oh, no one cares. No one cares about any of these. And at this point, I've done beyond thousands of shows. I've been doing stand-up over 15 years, every night, and then several nights a week because I was doing some other projects. But, thousands and thousands of shows, you're like, oh, nobody cares about the show. So same with this podcast. It's like I'm settling in here a little bit, and maybe we'll get on track here. Maybe you just skip to this point, but maybe you want to see that struggle. You want to see. That's what's good about the video. You can see someone's body language. I got my arms crossed currently. We'll stop that. So, yeah, I'm trying to create. Yeah, how about that? Maybe I'll put this out because I'm trying to create, and it ain't good. This is not good. This is not good content, but it is content, and it is a start, and maybe you'll inspire someone else to create something for themselves, and they'll see the struggle, and they'll appreciate it. As I appreciate how hard it is to set all this stuff up. I didn't before. I knew it was intensive and it took a lot of stuff. So one thing also here I've learned is that here's the thing about whenever you read articles about how to do well in life, they're like, well, you need to do this in the morning, this in the afternoon, this in the evening. There's just not enough time to do all the things you're supposed to do. Even if you didn't have anything to do, you couldn't do them all. For instance, something that I noticed is going to bed takes me a very long time. It takes a lot longer than I would anticipate it going. It's not like you just I guess some people can. They just go to their bed and go to sleep. I don't. I have to I got to make sure stuff is shut down on my computer, lights, air conditioning. Got to put the curtain around the air conditioning so that it does, that it blows correctly. And you got to clamp it up there so it doesn't blow on the air. At least in a New York City apartment, that's what it is, right? It's like a window AC. It's not like I guess it depends on where you live, but we have a window AC. So that, you got to fill your water up, your water cup that sits next to your bed or your jug or whatever. I like to use a big mason jar. I've been doing that because that's good. I'd like to drink a lot of water, so that's been good. So, that brush your teeth if you do that, which you should, I guess. I'm not a dentist, but it seems like brushing your teeth at night is a nice way to go. Flossing, if you're going to get involved, if you're going to go deep and get into the floss game, I'm not much of a flosser, and I also have some cavities. So there's the evidence. And then just, I don't know, getting whatever you got to get, setting your alarm. You got to make sure that's correct. Any last minute messages on any of the platforms we all got on our phones. Let's be honest, it's on our phones. You might be on your computer for a little bit, but then you're on your phone. That's a game. Putting your phone maybe across the room so you don't look at it. Anyway, before you go to bed, there's just so much you have to do. I grind the coffee before I go to bed, so that it's ready for the morning. So get up and there it is. But even that, cleaning out the coffee filter. There's or the coffee maker. We got a coffee maker recently. Just when you put a filter in and hit on, and but even that, you got to pour out the one from the current day. When you're ready to get up tomorrow, that the filter's ready to go and the coffee's ready to go, Anyway, going to bed, it's not like a 5-minute process. It's it's a long process. And then I struggle with OCD. That's I think I've talked about that before, and that's one of my horrific mental issues that I deal with. But sometimes I'll get stuck looking to make sure the stove's off, you know what I mean? Or a door is locked. 'Cause I'm like, is it off? Is it off? Is it all the knobs, right? Or the door, I'm like, is that locked? Is that square up against what it is? So that's my battle. People got their other battles, and I'm not ashamed of it. It's just something I got to deal with. As I know you got some stuff to deal with. Everybody's got stuff to deal with. People always like to pretend they don't, but they do. We all do. Why? Because you're human, and that's you got to deal with stuff when you're human. So, but anyway, that bedtime routine could take me 45 minutes or something, right? Between all those steps. If I get lucky, maybe it's 15. It all happens very quickly. It all happens very fast. But then that's if you don't get distracted. Someone gives you a quick call. I'm talking to my girlfriend about something. Hey, what about this thing tomorrow? Hey, what about this thing in a week? So, yeah, man, that's, I've also been having a really hard time falling asleep recently. I don't know if it's because of the lack of I'm trying to do my walks, but maybe the lack of exercises. I'm walking, but I'm not doing physical. I used to play a lot of basketball, and that was my outlet, was basketball. I'm not really doing much of that anymore. So now it's just walks. I'm not getting a good sweat in, Also, my diet is worse than it's been. I'm doing okay. But it could be better. So anyway, those are some topics. What else we got here? It's weird because if you don't talk about I'm looking at my list. I make a list throughout the week of things I might want to touch on. Half of them are irrelevant because the news has already passed those. But I look at my list and it almost feels just dumb to talk about anything other than coronavirus or the news or politics because that stuff is so big. It's in our face every day. So maybe I shouldn't talk about that to give people some, it's a Party with Lance podcast. I want it to be fun, or at least a place where people can relate, I guess. So maybe I should make it on these mundane topics that I have, I don't know which way to go exactly. What are people gonna, I'm hoping people comment, I want to get YouTube comments going so I can see people good and bad. I love I actually really like bad comments, even about myself. I always find them hilarious because it's who cares? I don't, I guess I'm nervous about putting it out and how I want it to be, but I don't really care what people say too much. I guess I would if I'm not a celebrity where I've been of course I'm not a celebrity, no, but I've never been blasted. Maybe it would be different if you do something and then you're blasted on the internet for days at a time by thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are writing nasty stuff about you. I could see that affecting you, affecting me. That's what I'm saying. So, but I in general tend to like bad comments. I just find them really funny. I don't know, they make me laugh when people, because it's people always have the insane comments too on YouTube. I'm burping there. My headphones fell. See, even that, I'm like, you didn't see that if you were just listening to the audio version, but in the video version, you might have seen something fall depending on the frame. But my headphones fell. So when you record this, do you make sure that it's all the people who are hearing and seeing it are getting it, or do you just do it and put it out there, and if you don't see it, you don't see it? Who knows? I always find it funny when someone's like, this channel stinks. And it's like, okay, it's free. It's on YouTube. You can go to another channel. And I just had to go out of your way and say something stinks. Like, you don't have to like it. Or my favorite is when people will tell other people how to do their content or their channels. Like, you got to talk about this, or you really lost me when you did it. It's like, okay, then go elsewhere. This, you don't have to be here. It's a free, you're the one that clicked on it. And these are my ideas. This is my show. This is a Party with Lance show. It can be shitty. It can be the worst show of all time. It can also be an awesome show. I'm trying my best to put something out there. You can see the struggle here. But if it stinks, all right, go. There's millions of videos on YouTube, literally millions of videos. Go check those out. Or what I also like too is when it's like you really have an opinion, you want to blast a paragraph in the comments. You know what you could do? Do your own show. You could do your own blog. You could do your own post. You could do your own video. You could do your own podcast. I think it's hilarious when people, it's like, they're like, oh, your channel couldn't have been. It's like, that is so funny to me. And I've had similar stuff like that happen to me, but I've specifically seen it with friends of mine who are a little bigger, in the comedy world or whatnot. It's just so funny to me. It's like, okay, so go do your own show. You have ideas? Go do your own show. So anyway, I would be curious of your comments on this. Even really bad ones, but maybe not too much. Don't give me too much, because what if, like a celebrity, what if you get like hundreds of negative comments? This is a terrible show. This guy's head looks like a peanut. I kind of like that though. That's pretty funny. But I would be curious. Even yes, even if you are listening to this on audio, if you wouldn't mind checking out the video. It's just Party with Lance. It's gonna be everywhere. If you just Google Party with Lance, that's my YouTube. Also, it's going to be, I'm going to put this on my homepage. I think the video, it's going to live on the homepage of my site. So if you're listening to audio, go check out just partywithlance.com or Party with Lance YouTube or wherever, and I'll hopefully be able to see this. And I'd be curious on the comments, because some of them are going to be brutal. I don't know if I'd watch this, So that's there. What are we talking about here? So some other topics, if you're on Facebook, there's a lot of quizzes going around, challenges. I'm not doing them. I'm not doing any. I hate math. If you're giving me a quiz, it's like if there's 3 people in a restaurant and 4, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing any quizzes. I'm not challenging anyone against anything. I'm not doing push-up challenges. I think there's a lot of great causes. That's a different thing. But I'm not doing push-up challenges. I'm already jacked. I'm already in great shape. I'm in okay shape. But I'm not doing the challenges. So I'm happy to support a cause. I'm happy to repost a nice cause, but I will not do a challenge. You say that till someone challenges you, and you're like, oh yeah, you think so? I guess I will. You will. I'll show you. So not doing the challenges. Also, here's something I discovered in the last few months that I did not know about. I don't know. Have you guys ever heard of 8D audio? I never heard of this before, but I guess if you put on headphones, the way some people will produce music or create music will make it so it goes between your right. This is my right ear. Your left if you're watching, I guess. Right ear to your left ear, and so the sound will go like it sounds like. Just if you never listened before, go to YouTube and type in 8D audio, samples or examples or 8D audio songs, and put your headphones on. It's wild. It sounds like you're in this surround sound kind of thing. I didn't know this existed. There's so much stuff like that I don't even know is out there. But 8D audio, just Google it, and it's it's crazy. And even like a lot of your favorite songs, there's like 8D audio, I guess samples of it or whatever you want, tracks of it, and it's like. It's worth checking out. I don't love it. I think it's more a little confusing to me. But it's very fast today. I never heard anything like that before. So 8D audio, that's something you should check out. Also, with this pandemic, it's really made me think about, trying to be appreciative of what we have, because before the pandemic, I was not as appreciative as I should be, and I'm still not, I'm still not. Look at how great this is. I'm making a show with my own. I got video, I got audio, I got good audio. I mean, I don't know how it's going to sound, but I got good equipment. I got a sign with my name on it. Like, that's awesome. And it's like, I should be appreciative that the fact that I can even do this. Now, it's taken me months to do this. I've been wanting to do a video podcast for years, maybe a year or two. I just it all never came together the way I wanted. Even the last few months, I've been dealing with a lot of other, some personal stuff, I was not in New York City for a little while at the beginning of this, and there was some back and forth there. Life stuff we're all dealing with. So the podcast, it's been a long time coming, a video podcast, But the fact that I get to do it is pretty cool. So here's the thought. Is parkour going to be the hottest new sport? It's already hot. Parkour is already hot. And is it going to be hot for a couple reasons. One, with parkour, you don't have to really be around anyone. And also, especially at nighttime in a lot of places, there's less people out. Especially here in New York City, there's a lot more crime at night. So less people. So if you're into parkour, especially if you're running, no one's going to catch you running. So maybe that's the way, Is parkour going to get hot? Is it going to be the hottest new sport, Some of those parkour videos are wild. You ever watch them on YouTube? Just type in parkour or like extreme parkour or something. People are just jumping off like 2-story buildings, doing a backflip, rolling off, and then like hanging off a thing on the side of it. You're like, what is happening here? But could it be even more popular now in the pandemic? Here's the thing about the pandemic. I don't even know where we are anymore. I don't even know. I think the video cuts off. I think it can only go for a half hour before it cuts off. I may have to restart it. The thing about the pandemic is, I don't even know where we are right now. September 17th, it's like a lot of people are like, it's over, we're back open, and it's like, I don't know, man, we're going into fall, winter. I don't know. School's opening. Could there be a more confusing time in the world right now? It's the most confusing and upsetting that I've experienced, and we might have more of these. We might, in 4 years, we might get rid of this. 4 years, have another pandemic, one that's even worse. Ideally, hopefully not. I hope things get back to somewhat of normalcy. I don't know. It's not going to be. That's another thing about the pandemic. There's going to be a lot of stuff that, like, in your mind is there. Like, I'm a comedian, right? So in my mind, all these comedy clubs are there all over the country. All these venues, all these clubs, bars, restaurants. I'm like, they're going to be there, and I'm going to be doing it with those people. But cut to a year from now, statistically, that's probably some. Maybe we'll get some before then. But vaccine's at least 3-4 months out, right? I think so. At least the end of the year, September, October, November, December, right? Early January. Then they got to roll it out. If you're looking at the news, it's not just going to pop out. I guess if you're listening to Trump, it's going to be, but that's inaccurate. It's just, it just is inaccurate. Because if you look at any scientist, it's going to, anyone who like studies infectious diseases or it's going to be another year before 9 months, a year, whatever year, and this guy, Michael Osterholm, who I listen a lot to, is like a leading dude. Look him up, Michael Osterholm. He's been on TV a ton. Like, he's saying it's like 12 to 14 months from now, So anyway, the point is, a lot of stuff that you used to envision isn't going to be there, Like comedy clubs, a bunch of them are already closed. They're not going to be there, or the people that I envision being in places have moved to other places. And people when they move, they set up shop. They get a new job, they get new friends, new relationships, new home, and then it's like, so it's crazy that like if things even get back to normal, it's not going to be the normal you think. It's going to be, and it might even be better. Let's not trying to be super negative. It could be even better. There might be new opportunities, new restaurants, new places to perform, new people, because people are moving places. So it's just going to be interesting. But the normalcy in our heads that we hold from 7 months ago or whatnot, it's not going to be the same thing, because life is still going forward and things are still happening. I had to restart the camera because I think it hit my half hour of. Anyway, I had to restart it, so it looks like it's going now. We're back. I got the video going. I got the audio. It's hard because it's being the tech. I've learned this. I don't even know what I was talking about. Who cares? What I've learned about it's very hard. Even when you like produce a comedy show, or I've like produced other podcasts, it's very difficult to do all this stuff. It's difficult to like run the video, to run the sound, to get the backdrop right, to get this, even to just frame this up. It's like this could look it could look, you get what I'm doing. So it's very hard to run audio. Basically, multitasking is bad. Let's have that as a topic. It's bad. You're not focused. Everyone thinks when you really hone in on something, you can really focus and do a good job. It's very difficult to run this video, run this audio, make sure it's all going into the right place, do the topics, and then still be loose and have it look good and be decent on camera. Yeah, man, tough. It's just it's too many elements. I need I see why people have a producer now. You're like, why is that person just sitting there? And you're like, they're doing all the stuff. It's very difficult to run all these things and you're doing audio, you're doing video, you're trying to have your topic, you're trying to set it up, you're trying to make it sound decent. You're literally doing like 4 jobs: camera, audio, kind of producer of the whole thing, and then talent, or whatever you want to call it. This person here sitting here. So it's like, it's a lot, but it can be done, I think, and that's what we're doing. I don't know why your fingernails grow so fast. Do you ever notice you're just going about your day? Something about fingernails. You're going about your day, you're doing your thing, and then eventually fingernails are just too long. You're like typing on a keyboard or like usually it's typing on a keyboard. Like, man, I can't even type, So I don't know how come it's just all of a sudden. It's like you're living your life, doing your thing, boom, your fingernails are now too long. So I don't know how, I guess it's every couple weeks, once a week or once every 2 weeks. I don't know. I guess it depends on how good your, is it biotin? I think maybe it's biotin, or you can take biotin, I believe. I think that's what, I could be completely inaccurate on this, but I think if you want to grow your fingernails and your hair, I think it's the same thing, biotin. And it also has to do with your diet, sun, exercise, all that jazz, maybe age. Not a doctor, but I think if you take biotin, you can grow your fingernails and hair faster, I think. What am I talking about? But here's what happened. Well, one time I was doing, years ago, this is, my gosh, so many years ago, I was doing a commercial. Lucky enough to have booked a commercial. And anyway, I was in a harness for it. And I got a bunch of my hair ripped out. I know I'm kind of bald, but I got some hair. And I had more at the time. Or at least it was a little longer. My hair got ripped out in the back. And I thought I was going to be bald. I totally forgot about this story, and I had to go to see a dermatologist about my skin, about my hair follicles, and anyway, hair grew back, it's fine, which actually I wish it did not, because if it did not grow back, I was going to, there would be because it was a shoot, and it was a union shoot. Can you even talk about this? I don't know, it was years ago. If it didn't grow back, there'd be like a lawsuit with the union versus my head of I'm disfigured for the rest of my life because there was a huge strip of baldness in the back of my head. And then maybe I could have made a lot of money. Instead, it grew back and I made a minimal amount of money for the commercial. And I did get a little workers' comp though, because I couldn't audition for any commercials for the next month or so, because if you had to turn around and do something, there's a huge gap in the back of my head. Different story. So, but biotin, they gave me biotin to take because that can make your hair and fingernails grow back faster. So that's a tip, biotin. Not sponsored by it. Also, don't even know if it's a company. I think it's like a mineral or like a vitamin or, it's like zinc or something or vitamin D. I don't know. Yeah, that's all. I guess this is a decent first start. Again, I guess here's what I really want. If you enjoyed this, I guess there's a helicopter going by. I don't know if you hear that. It's in New York. You probably can't hear it knowing how this is set up, but it's in New York. It sounds like a military helicopter going by. You just never know. But I will say this: if you enjoyed this podcast or the video, I'm mostly curious about the video. If you are listening on audio, if you wouldn't mind going to YouTube and leaving a comment, that would be cool. Also, you can review it on iTunes, Party with Lance. So that, if you want to subscribe on the YouTube, this is the game now. So until stand-up is really up and running hard, this is what I'm going to be trying to do once a week, maybe twice a week, maybe more. Maybe I'll get more comfortable and do it daily. I don't know. I doubt daily, but we'll just say twice a week, maybe, perhaps. That's the goal. Although I think I've said something like that in the past and it did not happen. But I'm trying again. You see the sign here. I'm trying. So if you liked it, subscribe on the YouTube. You got to say all that stuff. What a world we're living in. Subscribe, like, comment, share, whatever. On the YouTube channel, The Party with Lance, or on iTunes if you want to review it, Party with Lance. And I'd love to see some comments on the YouTube. What's funny is somebody's going to listen to this and then look at it and be like, there's 2 comments. Which, you know what? I will appreciate those 2 comments because I was talking about appreciating things, and I'll appreciate 2 comments, negative or positive. And that's it. So that's it. I appreciate you sticking through this. We'll see if we can maybe make the setup a little better here. Put it all together and see how it comes out. And that's it. I appreciate you watching. And, Godspeed to everybody out there. Much love. And that'll be it. This was the Party with Lance podcast, episode 18, and video portion 1. Let's say 18A maybe, because it's still episode 18. Anyway, all right. Toodaloo.